All right, so get ready because today we're diving into something that might just blow your mind a little bit.
Intriguing. I'm ready.
We're talking about the connection between, well, what you eat and how you think.
Oh, the gut-brain connection.
You got it. We're going to explore how food and brain function are like totally intertwined,
Yeah, it's a fascinating area, and it's getting more and more attention.
and for good reason. Understanding this link can be honestly kind of life-changing, especially when it comes to, managing weight and all that.
Absolutely. And so often we think of food as just, calories and fuel.
Right, just like filling the tank.
Exactly. But it's so much more than that. It really impacts, everything from our mood
Yeah, like how focused we are.
to even like those crazy cravings that can totally sabotage our
No,
efforts.
tell me about it. So that's exactly what we're unpacking today. We're going deep into how our food choices don't just affect our brains.
But also those weight management struggles that so many of us face.
It can be so frustrating. But let's start with the basics. This whole gut-brain connection thing, break it down for me.
Okay, so basically your gut and your brain are constantly talking to each other.
They're like texting all day long.
Pretty much, they're sending signals back and forth all the time.
Huh.
And it's actually so intricate that some scientists even call the gut our second brain.
A second brain. Wow, that's wild.
It really is. You see, our gut has its own nervous system. It's called the enteric nervous system. And it even produces these things called neurotransmitters, which basically control how our brain works.
Wait, hold up. So my gut is like making brain chemicals?
You got it.
Same ones that affect my mood and everything?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
one really good example is serotonin.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
It plays a huge role in like regulating our mood, feeling full and satisfied after a meal.
And those pesky cravings.
Exactly. And a lot of our serotonin is actually produced in the gut, not in the brain.
So if my gut makes serotonin and serotonin affects my cravings, does that mean what I eat can, like, help me manage those cravings and make it easier to, not overeat?
You're totally on the right track. What you eat has a huge impact on how much of these essential neurotransmitters your body produces.
It's all connected.
It is. So when you make food choices that support a healthy gut environment, you're not just helping your digestion.
You're actually supporting healthy brain function too.
Exactly. And that can make a world of difference when it comes to reaching those weight management goals.
This is blowing my mind. So can you give us some like specific examples of how certain foods affect our brains?
Okay, well, think about how you feel after you have like a big sugary donut or something.
Oh, I know exactly how that feels.
You get that initial rush of energy,
Oh,
right?
yeah, like I can conquer the world.
That's because sugar triggers a big release of dopamine in your brain.
Dopamine, that's the feel-good chemical, right?
That's the one. It's all about pleasure and reward. But here's the thing.
That's the catch.
That feeling, it doesn't last.
The dreaded sugar crash.
Exactly. Soon after, you often feel that crash. You get tired, maybe a little foggy-headed.
Yeah, and it's like my whole day is derailed.
It can really throw you off. And the thing is, consistently eating sugary foods can also lead to problems with focus in the long run, mood swings.
And even make it harder to manage weight.
Unfortunately, yes.
So those quick fixes are actually setting us back.
They can, yeah.
So we've got to ditch the sugar.
Mm.
But then there's this whole willpower thing, right?
Right.
People always say weight management is all about willpower. But it sounds like there's more to it.
Willpower is definitely important, don't get me wrong. But what's really fascinating is the role of the gut-brain connection in our weight.
So it's not just about how many calories I eat.
It's more complex than that. For instance, did you know that certain types of bacteria in our gut can actually influence how our body stores fat?
No way. You're telling me my gut bacteria could be working against me? Even if I'm like watching my portions and everything.
It's possible. If the balance of bacteria in your gut is off, it can really mess things up.
So what can we do about it? Can we like change our gut bacteria?
The good news is, yes, we can actually influence our gut bacteria through the foods we eat.
Okay, now we're talking. So let's get practical. What are some things we can eat to support both our brains and our weight goals?
One of the most powerful things you can do is eat plenty of fiber-rich foods.
Fiber, like the stuff in fruits and vegetables.
Exactly. Fiber is like food for the good bacteria in our gut. It helps create a healthy and balanced gut microbiome.
So we're talking loading up on fruits, veggies, whole grains, all that good stuff.
Exactly. And don't forget about prebiotics.
Prebiotics, what are those?
Think of them as food for your good gut bacteria.
So they're like helping the good bacteria flourish.
Exactly. Things like garlic, onions, bananas, those are all great sources of prebiotics.
So prebiotics help us build a healthy gut microbiome. And that helps with everything from how well we digest food to our mood and even our weight.
That's the idea.
Amazing. What else should we be thinking about?
Well, remember those sugar rushes and crashes we were talking about earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, being mindful of your sugar intake is huge. Not only can sugar mess with your energy levels, but it can also lead to weight gain over time.
I know cutting back on sugar is important, but it feels like it's in everything.
It's true, sugar can be really sneaky. Start by reading labels and just being more aware of how much hidden sugar is in processed foods.
Processed foods, yeah, those are the biggest culprits.
And then try to choose whole, unprocessed foods as much as possible.
So it's not about, like, totally depriving myself.
No, not at all. It's about making informed choices, swapping out that sugary cereal for some oatmeal with fruit.
Small changes can make a big difference.
Exactly. And while we're on the topic of choices, let's not forget about staying hydrated.
Oh, right. Drinking enough water.
It's crucial. Dehydration can actually trick your body into thinking it's hungry, which can lead to overeating.
Really? Yeah, I had no idea.
And being dehydrated can also zap your concentration and energy, making it harder to make healthy choices.
Wow, I've got to pay more attention to that.
It's definitely something to be mindful of. Make sure you're drinking enough water throughout the day.
So we've got fiber, prebiotics, cutting back on sugar, staying hydrated. It's like a whole new way of looking at food.
It really is. It's about understanding how interconnected our bodies are.
And how what we eat affects not just our physical health, but our mental health too.
Exactly.
This is all so fascinating.
It is. But one really important thing to remember is that there's no one-size-fits-all approach when it comes to this stuff.
So what works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly. Everybody is different, and what your body needs might be totally different from what my body needs.
So where does that leave us?
It leaves us with the exciting opportunity to experiment and find what works best for us as individuals.
I like that. So it's about paying attention to how different foods make us feel, both physically and mentally.
Yes. Notice how your energy levels change, how your mood shifts after you eat certain things.
And finding what makes us feel our best.
Exactly. It's all about tuning in to your body's unique needs.
I love that.
Yeah.
So, to wrap up our deep dive today, we've explored this incredible connection between our gut and our brain.
Right.
We've learned how food can impact our brain chemistry and our overall well-being.
And that it's not just about willpower.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we've talked about some practical strategies we can all use to make choices that support both our mental and physical health.
Like choosing fiber-rich foods, being mindful of sugar, and staying hydrated.
All great stuff. So now that you're armed with all this knowledge,
Yeah.
what small change are you going to make to your diet this week? Think about it and get ready to feel the difference. Until next time.
See you then.